There's a new shader for Roblox called Roshade that causes any Roblox game to have RTX enabled, and this can be really beneficial for some games, while others not so much. So I've compiled a list of top 6 games, in my opinion, that have the best look when it comes to this RTX feature. This feature is really fun to use, and it's easy to toggle on and off with just a press of a button, and I recommend you go download it if you want your Roblox to look prettier at the single press of a button. What are you waiting for? Go on, go try it. It's free to use. Link will be in the description below. Seriously, there's no reason for you not to get it. Well, unless you have a potato computer. Why yes, I am padding this run time so you can see the rest of these clips I've compiled before the actual top 6 begins. Starting off with number 6, Typical Colors 2.
The character's meant to be moving, lads!
Alright, let's get one thing out of the way with this one. Typical Colors 2 does, I think, benefit from this. However, being mostly landscape based, I think this RTX stuff really shines when it's mostly based indoors. Being set in SCP facility type games, I think, is where it shines best. However, outdoorsy games like Typical Colors, not so much. But I still put it on this list because I think it's really nice to see how the weapons shine, how the floor reflects the dispensers and the sentries, how the explosions look on the reflections, how the cart looks. I think it all just looks quite nice. I think it adds to the aesthetic, and I think it especially looks quite nice indoors, like the spawn rooms. Despite the map looking a little wet at times, I still thought it was worth mentioning because I just thought all the upsides were better than the few minor little downsides, like the map looking like it had just rained. But that goes for any game using this that has a wide range of landscape.
Better than any car I've seen! Thanks, Private. We gotta stop that cart!
Nice.
Stop that cart!
Coming up next in the number 5 spot, SCP Anomaly Breach 2.
Hey, they've got some work for you. Do me a favor and step out of your cell.
Like I said previously, I think SCP facility games really benefit from this RTX due to their enclosed spaces, being able to see the reflections of the lights, doors, walls, cabinets, etc. really adds to the immersion of places like these. Playing SCP Anomaly Breach with Roshade turned on really makes it feel like SCP Containment Breach, but it was made in Unity. I really love the reflection of SCP-173 on the floors, and with Roshade enabled, it darkens the game just slightly more, while also giving that reflective nature. I think it adds really well to the horror element of the gameplay. The way Roshade changes this game in such a subtle way, I think is what earns it this spot on the list. I especially think that the lighting in places like the red rooms is what really shines. The way the electricity from the Tesla gate reflects off the floor I think is also worth mentioning, and also the way the smoke from the decontamination room looks against the walls. It's so subtle, yet so immersive. Coming up into the number 4 spot, Row Citizens. Now, I will admit, in the daytime, it can be a little difficult to notice a difference. However, seeing those subtle reflections on the road as you're driving through the city is what really makes it work for me in my opinion. But I think where the game really shines with Roshade enabled is at night. Driving through the city at night with Roshade is just absolutely beautiful. Watching all the colorful signs and street lights reflect off your car and the road as you're driving through, it really gives it the atmosphere it deserves. It gives me driving through GTA Los Santos at night vibes, and I think that's a big win. Solely due to how beautiful nighttime looks with Roshade turned on, I think that's what earns this game this spot on the list. Especially when you get down to the pier and you get to see the bright, colorful lights of the drop and Ferris wheel reflecting off your car and the boardwalk, it's just stunning. Not to mention just how nice and well polished some interiors of some buildings can look. I can't imagine what this may look like in the penthouse with a bunch of vibey lights on. Moving down to number 3, it's going to be Arsenal.
You will not fail me, alright?
As stated before with Typical Colors 2, I think Roshade really works in games like this because it just really adds to the look of the guns. I love seeing the lighting and different colors of the map reflect off of them. And despite Typical Colors 2 and Arsenal being made by the same developers, I don't know. I just think the maps in this look better than Typical Colors 2 with Roshade on. Maybe it's because the maps in Arsenal are more colorful and vibrant, I don't know. But I think the shininess of Roshade doesn't take away from the experience of the game on these maps. Seeing the explosions and bullet trails reflecting off of the floors, the colorfulness of the maps and character models reflecting off the guns, it all comes together to help this game feel more immersive, in my opinion, as a brightly colored, fast-paced shooter. That's why it's ranking so high on the list, because I think it just looks very pretty in its own way with Roshade on. As I've stated before, I think closed-in maps really benefit from Roshade due to everything being closer together and more reflective off of each other, which is why I think this map is probably one of the best looking maps in Arsenal with Roshade on. I tried voting for a map that I thought would look even prettier with Roshade on, but I was always just outvoted. Nonetheless, it's especially maps like these why Arsenal is so high on the list, and watch me as I win the game before we move on to number 2.
Yeah, that's what I like to see! That's what I like to see! Holy crap, you are! You are!
Coming in at number 2, 3008. SCP-3008 is a well-known game on Roblox that I think is made infinitely better with Roshade on. The atmosphere and lighting of this game was already phenomenal enough for a Roblox game, but with Roshade enabled, it just absolutely brings this game to next level. The shininess of everything makes this modern horror store feel even more modern. Setting up a base, putting in some color lights, and watching the staff roam around outside your walls is an absolute vibe with Roshade on. Seeing the reflection of the furniture, lights, and overhead signs on the floor, it all comes together and adds up to something truly outstanding visual-wise. Not to mention the added smudges on your screen, especially how apparent they become when you get your face close to a light source. It all is very reminiscent of the original 3008 game. I especially love these little patio setups with Roshade on. They just look like such a vibe, and it really brings me back to the days when I would visit one of these at my local Home Depot. And finally, coming on to number 1 is Tunneler.
You're okay. 74. Oh, alright, let's continue.
I don't think words can put into perspective just how absolutely stunning Tunneler looks with Roshader on. Like, is this even Roblox? Does this even look like Roblox right now? You can't look at this and honestly tell me that this still clearly looks like Roblox, because it doesn't. This game with Roshader on, it just goes so well together. It legitimately feels like Roshader was specifically made just for this game. This game follows every attribute that I listed off for a game to look truly good with Roshader, and it lists them off perfectly. It's taking place inside of a facility. It has great lighting and great visuals. The colors of the portals and the portal gun. It's just, it all comes together so well. This game already looked good as hell, but with Roshade on, it looks even better than hell. I really don't think my ramblings of how great this looks with Roshade on is justifiable. I think you just gotta watch the rest of this footage and see for yourself.
These next 2 chambers test you on everything you've learned so far. Don't worry, you can do it.
So yeah, that has been the top 6 games that I think, in my opinion, benefit the most from Roshade enabled. If you want to get Roshade for yourself, link will be in the description, as well as all the games showcased in the video, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye.